Yes, sir.
All right. So, hello everyone. Wish you all a very good evening. Today is the first of the many sessions that you guys are going to attend over the weekends. And this formally now begins your journey in the quest of learning management. We have put together a lot of experts for you guys to come and uh, teach you the nuances of management. In the first lecture today for Principles and Practices of Management, we have with us Dr. Captain C M Chitale. Sir joined the Defense Services between the years 76 and 81 at Dogra Regiment. He was a commissioned Army officer. He has rich industrial experience in the field of industrial relations, human resource, and administration with companies like Thermax, Formica, um, Daiichi, etc. He has a rich consulting experience, and of course, not to say, the more I say, the less it is. He has research under his belt. PhD thesis are for non-salary benefits and industrial peace. He has been a research guide in the Faculty of Management. He was heading the department for Pune University MBA as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have a wonderful faculty amongst us to take you through principles and practices of management, make wonderful use of his immense experience, and ask him lovely questions. And I'm sure you guys will gain a lot from him. Chitale sir, it's over to you.
Thank you, Professor Soel. And I also thank your university for inviting me again. I think this is the third occasion I'll be speaking to students online. Total about 12 sessions are given to me. Today is the first session. Let me tell you what exactly is expected out of me, what are the mandates given to me by the authorities. You have just heard my introduction. I have a good experience of army, then industry, and then university administration, teaching, and academics. So, this particular subject called Principles and Practices of Management in your curriculum, the course code is OMBC 101. The 12 sessions are given to me, though there are the syllabus also given, but what is expected out of me that I'm supposed to give some extra, means I have to share my experience. I did not teach each and every aspect because I'm told with me there are two more teachers, in-house teachers, will be covering entire syllabus. My experience in the past is very good. I enjoyed my sessions, and I think the students, those who have joined my sessions, they have also enjoyed because I experienced a lot of students ask questions, and I want you to ask questions because through this question answer, I think I'll be able to explain a particular point at that particular point of time, whatever discussion in details. So today's session is the first unit, that is basics of management, which covers definition of management, business organization, management, nature of business, functions, etc. I was just sharing with Dr. Soel that in between I just changed the sequence. I will let you know because whenever we'll close, that time I will let you know what will be the session next time because in between I changed the sequence to make it an order. So let's start. Let's have a good interaction and learning. Let's start. And I wish you all the best, and I also congratulate you for taking admission to this management program at DPU. What we are going to learn throughout our 12th session is all these functions of management, like planning, organizing, and all that, till decision making. And today, I'll try to cover what is business, what is organization, what is administration, why management, why survival of organization, all these basic things which will help us for our further discussion. Normally, we call it the business management. So it is important to learn what exactly the word business means. Business may be identified as any activity which leads to the creation of utilities, of goods and services for the satisfaction of human wants in return for a price. Creation of utilities of goods and services for satisfaction of human wants. That is very important. All those manufacturers or all those who are offering services, by offering product, they try to satisfy the needs of society, the needs of people. But this particular exchange takes place at a price. Nowhere in this particular definition it is said whether it is related to profit or loss. No. Definition say we offer service or we sell the product at a price. After the transaction, it will be decided whether the transaction was in profit or it has created a loss. So there is business loss and profit are hidden, right? Etymologically, if you see the meaning of word business in dictionary, business means being busy. The business. The commercial term, the definition are already given to you. The next term, what we are going to talk here onwards, is organization. Now, I check those who are joined this particular program from many countries. Some of them are fresh students, they don't have experience, I take it in this way, or probably they are trying to get a knowledge about management and then they will try to search for a good opening in the profession. Some of the students may be serving, and they are while serving they are trying to enhance their academic background. So I find normally this is what is a rough bifurcation of the students. So my session will cover both aspects. Those who are in the exploration stage of career, let me tell you, it is very important to share what are the stages of a career. Some of you have, I'm sure you have done a graduation at your age of 20, 22, and you have taken admission. Or even those who are having a 5 or 6 years of service, they are also in exploration stage. So exploration, so there are 4 stages of a career. In exploration stage, that roughly starts at the age of 15 when you are in a college, or after 12 when you start your college, up to the age of 28 or 30. That means when you get a graduation or double graduation at the age of 22, from that 4 or 5 years, that is about 2 or 3 jobs up to the age of 28 or 30 is the exploration stage. Then comes the establishment stage of a career. From age around 30, if you take 30 to 45, these 15 years is the establishment stage. Above 45 to 55 is mid-career, and above 55 is the late career. I'm not going to talk about mid-career and late career. The obvious reason is nowadays the career span for management graduates is around 20 years. What does it mean? It means that you have to be a CEO of a company, or you have to be a general manager, or you have to be an entrepreneur of your own business within, say, next by the age of 40, you have to have that particular position. That is what we are observing, young CEOs. So in the exploration stage, when you have decided to learn management, probably you are exploring the possibility. And during this particular exploration, what is required to be done? You have to do introspection. You have to do a SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. And nowadays, I don't call threat, I said challenges. SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and challenge. Now, this is one of the principles, SWOT. Now, we keep on doing this SWOT analysis in our business. For our individual also, we are required to do SWOT, not only in the exploration step, but throughout your career. So this will help you to understand your strengths. Strengths are assets. weaknesses are liabilities. Means when you map your personality on these two parameters, strengths and weaknesses, so strengths are assets and weaknesses are liabilities. What does it mean? It means you have to keep on adding more values in the strength. So for that, you have to do your Atma Parikshan, or what we call introspection. And about weaknesses, when you are aware of those weaknesses, you are required to work hard to get rid of those weaknesses. Now, each one of us, we do have weaknesses. The only thing, the person, successful person, what he or she does, they try to identify the weaknesses, and over a period of time, they work hard to get rid of those weaknesses from their personality. And this is how they add value in strength side. So this is very important, because now you have already decided to pursue your management for next 2 years. This is just the beginning. I must congratulate you for that, because this is an opportunity for you to get more knowledge. This is an opportunity to get a passport for getting a good job. But let me tell you, friends, at this stage, it is not only the degree or diploma what you are going to get at the end of 2 years. Probably when you are exposed to different topics, you are required to learn that particular topic thoroughly. You have to practice it. That's why, the first basic subject, what I am dealing in, principles and practices of management. Just now I told you one principle, SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity. So let's take an example. When somebody knows this is my weakness, fine, I'll just give an example. Mostly those who learn in their mother language, basic learning. Like me, I had done my schooling in Marathi medium, and I faced problem thereafter, after in the college and especially after joining army. Somewhere I got a feedback that exactly the concept what we are going to learn in Johari window. Keep on noting down these new term, Johari window. I will not be able to cover that, but Johari window is a very important aspect, because that try to help you to reduce the blind areas of your personality. That's a separate topic. But then somewhere you get a feedback, and that particular feedback is important to develop yourself. This management course, when you are learning theory, you are required to know how to use or how to implement this theory into practice. That's why this is a basic subject, principles and practices of management. That's why I say that when you are going to learn this management, learn it thoroughly. Let me tell you at this stage only, what industry expects from management graduate is one term called ASK. 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 A stands for attitude. S stands for skill. And K stands for knowledge. Go anywhere, any industry. They ask from you. After this K is taken care by EPU, university. Next 2 years, you will get lot of subject, lot of knowledge. Let me share with you, I am one of the members of the Board of Studies of Management. Just yesterday only, we have taken a review. Your director, Dr. Safia Madam, has presented us to what exactly she is doing, and she's doing a wonderful job. So in a board, we try to take a review and try to put some new subjects also, because management is a vibrant subject. So knowledge part is taken care of, provided, mark my words, provided if you are keen to learn. It's not only degree. Your objective is to learn. All the things cannot be learned in a classroom or online. So you have tremendous information of internet. Like just now I told you, those who are writing some notes, if you have written a word called Johari, Johari. After the session, whenever you get a time, open it, what exactly Johari window concept means. Once you learn, I think there are certain things you can learn by just reading it. And if you are having some doubt, you can check it from the faculty. With me or some other our in-house package. Attitudes, yes. Over a period of time, you have to develop the personality which is suitable to become a manager. Because it is not going to join a company as an officer and throughout your life you are going to work as an officer. No, one day you have to be a manager, divisional manager. You have to have dreams in front of you. As I said, by age of 40, you should be a CEO of a company. That should be a dream. Or you have to be a CEO of your own concern. I'm not saying that you have to serve. No, not at all. You can serve, you can have your own organization as well. Come on, answer me. So attitude, knowledge we have seen, and skill, different type of skills, communication skill, persuasion skill. I think all these are required to be developed along with your thing. So let's talk now what is organization. Normally, if you are working in the organization, you know that organization is normally we show with a pyramid-like structure from top to bottom. At the top, there are managing director or board of directors, and down below, general manager, divisional manager, managers, and down, if it is a manufacturing company, then there is a workers. So there are people in the organization. So what this definition says, arrangement by which tasks are assigned to men and women so that their individual efforts contribute effectively to some more or less clearly defined purpose for which they have been brought together. So each one of us, when we work in an organization, we do have a position. We are assigned some tasks to be performed, the responsibility. This we will going to discuss when we are talking about organization structure, the terms like authority, responsibility, accountability, and so on and so forth. Let's go further. Administration. When we say business administration, what exactly it means, the word administration? Three elements you can see on the slide. The first one, formulation of goals. Second, the choice of ways and means to achieve those goals. And the direction of people in some group purpose. Now, these elements are for business administration. Formulation of goals. Any organization, any business organization have to formulate goals. What exactly they want to do in the next financial year. That is planning. We are going to talk about planning later. Normally, it is seen that every year, if the financial year is from April to March in our country at least. So what happens? Month of December or January of preceding year, the company, they decide their budget, what exactly they are required to do in the next financial year. Budget is nothing but a plan expressed in rupee, naya, paisa or dollars. Means in organization, in business, we don't move into that. We are having our objective, business objective very crystal clear. Once you decide or define the goals, then the next step is the choice of ways and means to achieve this goal. Here comes the management role. How are we going to achieve? And then what type of directions are required for people? Direction of people in some group purpose. In some group purpose means people are working in different groups. That is what is the job of a manager. Manager is required to get the work done. That is the simplest definition of management. To get the work done or to get an extraordinary work done from an ordinary person. Right? So we require a person who is responsible to get the work done. And when all those managers, when people working in different departments, every department may have different work. Every individual may have a different work. But all these efforts are correlated in such a way that the objectives or the goals set at the top management or the apex body will be achieved. Right? We'll talk about this in detail throughout our 12 sessions. Now, if you take this as a principle, I personally, when I always say, talk to my students and say, look, learn management for yourself. I'm also giving this to you. What I mean by that, you are learning management, no doubt. You are also having a dream to get a job, no doubt. Okay, good one. But when I say learn management for yourself, what I mean that you have to own management as a culture. So this administration formula is applicable for you, for your development. Take it. How? You have to formulate a goal. What we have done right now, you have already formulated a goal that you want to have a good knowledge about management. And of course, getting a degree or diploma at the end is a spin-off. It's a byproduct. Don't take it. I'm learning to get it. No, you are learning to get a knowledge. Remember this is different. What you learn and what you produce in the examination, the marks, what you're going to get, you're definitely going to get a benefit. That is spin-off effect of your learning is your degree. Then choice of ways to achieve this means that you have to give direction. You have to decide. You already decided your choice of getting admission in DPU and pursuing management learning. That's a good one. Good one. But then gets committed for learning. Very important. Commitment word is a very important matter. Get committed. And give direction to yourself. Let me, at this stage, give you one reference. I hope you are having a notebook in front of you and you keep on writing some points from my side so that you can go back to and Google certain information. There is a research paper by Gladwell. That research paper title is 10,000 hours of practice. If you put 10,000 hours of practice and search it, you will get a paper, research paper. Malcolm Gladwell, yeah. What this author has said that one required 10,000 hours of practice to become professional. And when he's saying 10,000 hours of practice, he means that apart from office hours 9 to 5, you have to leave those office hours. Apart from that, how much time one spends to develop professional subject, that matters. When you really calculate, it comes around 3 hours a day. It will take about 10 years to become professional. Long period, no doubt about it. But you have to be committed. If you go through little criticism on this particular paper, there are some authors, they doubt, they challenge, there's no empirical data. And then they say 10,000 hours is just a fake figure. Don't go into that particular discussion. But what is learning? What's a good learning from this? If not 10,000, if you don't believe in 10,000 hours, in fact, this author has given an example. Bill Gates is one of the examples he has quoted. Please go through that paper. What I learned from this, if not 10,000, don't believe, okay, fine. But at least substantial time to be spent to develop your professional subject. Not from 9 to 5. That means apart from theoretical subject, you have to learn, you have to go through reference material, you have to see what is happening in the business environment. Not now, you have to see, you have to foresee certain things. What is going to happen in next 4 years, 5 years, 3 years? Normally, this is where the question, whenever you are going to get going for an interview, this particular question will be asked. What do you want to be after 5 years? Now, this question is not just asked to kill the time. No, not at all. I'm from HR. So we in HR, we try to find out what are your aspirations, what you are planning for yourself. That's why earlier I said, if you learn management for yourself, if you develop that as a culture, yes, then you can serve the industry better. Fine, that is what is expected from you. Let's go further. Normally, for management, we consider these resources 8 M's in management were called. All M's: men, money, materials, machines, methods, market, milieu, and minutes. Quickly, I will explain. These are all resources. When you concentrate on a particular resource, that becomes a professional branch of management. For example, men and women working in the organization, that becomes a human resource management. Fine. Money becomes financial management, materials management. Machines and method combined becomes a production management. Marketing management. Milieu. The meaning of this word milieu is environment. So for any business organization, we are having two environments. One, internal, whatever is happening inside that big pyramid, internal environment, and the external environment. We'll see the factors of external environment, how they affect on a business. And minutes, time management. So, men, money, materials, machines, methods, market, milieu means environment, two types of environment, internal and external, right? And minutes, time management. Another definition of management, there are two important ones in the management vocabulary. Optimum utilization. Optimum utilization of these resources become management. These become professional management. Optimum utilization of human resource, optimum utilization of time available, optimum utilization of all the resources. Like I have scheduled for 12 sessions, means 12 hours. You calculate how many minutes I'm going to spend with you. And I have to utilize this time optimally to share about management, to share my experience. If they are really calling me as an expert, then I must give you something extra, which probably is not noted in the syllabus. Fine? Like whatever references I'm giving you, so far I have given you two references. 10,000 hours of practice, Johari window. Please, because unless and until you work hard, you cannot. And then this is not only during this studentship. This is throughout your career. I'm retired person, fine. I retired from my university in 2016, but I'm still working as a chair professor. When I've been given the schedule this morning, I was going through my notes. I was trying to put that in my mind to what exactly I'm going to give you today. I have my notes prepared, but then you have to arrange in such a way that I can use this 1 hour optimally managing. I have to manage this particular time optimally. That is what is expected. Fine. Let's go further. Management is an artful science, direction of people towards predetermined goal. This is very important. When I say that every organization has predefined goal or predetermined objective, and whatever is happening within that particular pyramid, everybody is working to achieve the objectives set for that company. Right? Accomplishment of desired objectives and establishing environment favorable to performance. When I refer, there are two types of environment, internal and external. So this is the point for internally. If you read the book Kuntz, there's a good book, foreign author, Kuntz, K-O-O-N-T-Z. Kuntz say in Essentials of Management, it is a duty of a manager to design or to create internal environment conducive enough where people work in different groups can work together as a team to achieve organizational objectives. So it is a responsibility of the manager to design or to create internal environment conducive enough. How? We will talk, because then we are having a subject called leadership, motivation, communication. When I'm supposed to get the work done, it is not only autocratic way, but you have to be democratic also. This is what is the style of a manager. We'll see. We will discuss this when we will discuss about leadership. Then it's a multi-purpose organ. Good sentence. Manages business, manages. Management is a multiple. It manages business, it manages manager, so on and so. A process of getting things done through people for the successful accomplishment of the organizational goal. Let's go little further. These are two definitions, but remember one thing: management is nothing but to get the work done. What does definition say? Management is an executive function which is primarily concerned with carrying out the broad policies laid down by the administration. It is a function of an enterprise which concerns itself with the direction and control of various activities, so on and so forth. Okay. Question is, why do we require management? Or what is the objective of a management? The basic objective of any management to make a profit, to make a surplus. Nobody starts a business with the objective of making loss. You have to have a profit, you have to have a surplus, because when you make a profit, when you are having a surplus, probably this surplus can be utilized for further projects. Why we require a further project? Because we cannot depend upon a particular product throughout your business life. You have to have innovations, you have to bring some diversification, you have to search for new product. Why? Because you have to survive in the business. Survival is a very, very important aspect of any business. Survival. And for that survival means to remain in the business. So one more objective of a business: to remain in the business. To remain in the business means you have to survive. You have to do business profitably. Now, to do business profitably, you require a professional man. Take, for example, a company is not having a good management. Sure enough, they are going to make losses. Another example, a company is having a management. You cannot give an assurance, but certainly, even if they are going to make a losses to start with, but one day they will bring the company into profit because they know how to manage different resources. There are examples. A loss-making company with 2-3 years of solid strategy. Yes, they were experts. They brought those loss-making company into profit. So you require a management. You require how to manage different resources profitably or optimally. Fine? And especially the financial resource is a very important resource. Let's go further. As I was telling you, external environment, internal environment, I already talked. That is what is a responsibility or duty of a manager, to create conducive environment. But there are these factors externally affecting any organization, like economic conditions, social cultural conditions, legal, technological conditions, natural environment conditions, ethical conditions, government rules and regulations. They keep on changing, so you have to take a note of that. When these factors are affecting, you have to take a note, and accordingly you have to change your business, or accordingly you have to have a strategy to tackle these external environmental factors. Economics is very important. Economics, that your financial resource and everything. And therefore, growth and development is a strategy for survival. As I already said, that you have to plan survival of the organization. That's why you have to have a growth in terms of money, growth in terms of profit after tax, percentage increase in profit after tax. The growth, I suppose. So you get a surplus and you can keep on investing this surplus into new projects. The new projects will take care of your survival. This is a normal business strategy. Growth in it. Now try to concentrate on these two words, growth and development. Now, growth and development is also applicable for you and me when we work in the organization. It's not only for the business. When you get a job, when you start your service, you have to develop yourself. You have to grow yourself in terms of professionalism. That's why I gave you a reference of 10,000 of practice. Just not an MBA degree won't fetch you the success. You have to strive hard. You have to keep on learning. You have to keep on forcing certain things. See what are the changes are going to come in future. What type of nowadays? I mean, all these young, as compared to me, you are all young, right? So your management is all artificial intelligence, data science, and all technology. You have to learn that also. It's not only PPM and HR and manager and finance. Along with that, you have to be technically sound. 5, 6 years back, 10 years back, people were saying Excel. Then say Super Excel. Nowadays say no, whether that fellow is having artificial intelligence, some knowledge or not. Now, it's not only the engineers can learn, no, they can also learn. This is what the technique. Everything is based on that. It's a technology base. I think this DPO is also introduce certain subjects for your betterment as a specialization. Your coordinator will definitely let you know. So growth and development for individual working in the organization is also very important for survival in the organization, survival in the business, survival in the profession. I will omit this because there's a good book by In Search of Excellence. Now, this was a very good when I was a very good book at the time of when I was a student. These are the certain points. He has studied some organization and why they are successful. Very recently, I was reading some article. Some of the company which they have put out, Tom Peters and whatever. Today, I mean, maybe about 10, 15 years back, they were not doing good. So lesson learned is the organization which is successful today, we don't know what is going to happen after 10 or 15 years. These are the strategies for certain companies they adapted for their success. But you cannot guarantee success throughout your business life. That is a good learning. When we talk about efficiency and effectiveness, efficiency is doing things right, ability to do things right, effectiveness is doing the right things. Yeah, no, only 15 minutes. I will talk for about another 5 or 7 minutes and then I will take a question. This I will not, probably you can go through. This is a formula given here. Function, managerial effectiveness, information, skills and vision. So you have to have a functional information, organizational information, environmental information, functional skill, interpret. Now, these two, you can find functional skill and functional information. This is exactly the subject. One is theory, the other one is practice. So when you are learning theory, you should know how to utilize that in practice. Then only your effectiveness will be there. Interpersonal relationship, insight and foresight. Insight, try to understand what the job, understand how is the job contribution to the objective organization. When you put inside, probably you can find out the new and innovative way of doing the same job. Here starts it is a start point of Kaizen, continuous improvement. Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N, Kaizen. When I ask this question to myself, can I save time? Can I save money? Can I save effort? And if you get an answer to this question and if you try to implement that, at the beginning, probably any new method, unless and until you take up permission of your boss, don't use it. But one day, it's going to come that you can implement on your own. So Kaizen start for continuous improvement. And foreseeing the things, how the things are going to change in future, that is a very important. So, In the topic, I think there is some note given scope of management that I will cover. About principle, I think 2-3 principles I already told. There are 14 principles of Fayol, but this principle we'll see when we'll talk about the organization history. I mean, how this particular thought evolved. That time I will cover those principles. But about the scope, nature and scope of management. Firstly, it is universal. It is universal, common, and crucial to all organizations. It is not only for industry, it is for the social organization, it is for the university, it is for the college. It is universally applicable. It is social, managing people and groups, because ultimately, when you deal with people, you have to manage people. You have to manage people in a group. So various levels of dynamism, understanding, and sensitivity. That's why leadership, motivation, communication has importance, right? Intangible. Management is intangible. It's not a thing or object which you can touch, but you can feel its presence through the results of the efforts as adequate, orderly work output and employee satisfaction. It's not an object that you can see a management. It is, but it is present. It has to be present in the organization. If things are moving smoothly, if the production is done properly, if you sell, I think management is there. Right? If management is not there, then things will not work. Why management? For your personal thing, you have to plan. If you want to reach a particular place at time, a given time, then you have to manage. You have to plan back to reach a particular place at given time. Time management is a very important aspect. It's a dynamic. Management is dynamic, as it must remain equipped to to face various changes in the corporate environment caused by social, economic, technological, political, and human factors. Some of them we have covered in the external. It is goal oriented. They all focus on achieving specific goals. Management processes aim to achieve organization goals that are practical and realistic. For goal setting, it is said the goal should be SMART. SMART. What is SMART goal? S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R realistic, and T time bound. SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So even organizations have to set SMART goals. Production factor. Managers are vital to utilizing capital and labor, therefore significant factor for production. Coordination. Coordinating between groups and people. All physical and human resources require efficient coordination to achieve optimum levels. Physical as well as human resource coordination is one of the functions of it. Crucial part of society. Society has a great impact on management. Similarly, management has an impact on society. Managers are responsible for contributing to society through charity organization growth. Nowadays in our country, all organizations are required to as a CSR, corporate social responsibility, or 2% of their profit for good cause, for upliftment of society. And yes, a lot of corporates are doing a fantastic job. A lot of NGOs are also taking advantage. It directly go to village development, directly go to school, it directly go for empowering a poor person, something like that, or even a training to those who have not been given training or could not get the training or education. I think good CSR projects are, you can see. It's a professional. Manager must have proper knowledge and managerial training. They must also conform to the code of conduct and conscious of the human and social responsibility. It's a process. Management consists of sequence of actions that we conduct towards the end. This is a point mentioned in your syllabus, so I thought I should cover that. I think these roles, different roles of a manager, figure eight role, there are interpersonal role, informational role, and decision making role. All roles are required to be played. Figure eight role, leader role. Leader is of course is a separate subject. Liaison role, recipient role, information role. Now these roles basically talks about office management. Receiving information, analyzing information, storing information, and dissemination of information. These are the four functions of any office. So these two roles, recipient of information and disseminator, it talks about office management and spokesperson. And here, entrepreneurial role, disturbance handler role, resource allocator, and negotiator. As I said that yes, you're going to become a manager, or you can start something on your own, you become a first generation entrepreneur. But there's a concept that even a manager should have entrepreneurial traits. The division of managers, senior people, those who are managing their division, and mostly the divisions are considered as a cost center or a profit center. It's a business within a big house. So this divisional manager have to have, or the manager have to have entrepreneurial role. And there's a concept, it is called intrapreneur, I-N-T-R. Spelling is a little different. Intra, I-N-T-R, intrapreneur is nothing but manager entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship is important even for the manager, is not only for the first general entrepreneur, because ultimately when you are a divisional manager, we are a manager, you are managing your division as a business. What you bring, that is a contribution to the coffers of the company will decide whether you're going to stay there or not, the survival. One, I think most of the topic covered in the first chapter, as mentioned in your syllabus, are covered. So as usual, now 10 minutes are there. We can have some question answer interaction. And friends, dear students, one of my strategy or pedagogy is that I do ask you questions, because unless and until I know what type of question you ask, I will not be able to give you what you want. Okay? I'm sure there are about 966 students have joined. So is it okay now? 10 minutes?
Yes, sir. It's all right.
And before we close, after the question answer, then the next 26th of Feb, I'm going to talk about managing organization. That is second topic in the syllabus. Management as a process, management as an activity, management is it. Yeah. So let's have some question answers.
Right. So we have a few learners who have been listening to you very intently. We have Siddharth Singh who's asking about a little more explanation about the term Johari window, sir.
Oh, Johari window, Soil, I think we will conduct separately. Johari window is a concept given by Joseph Luft and Harry Ingham. These are the two contributors. Basically, that particular diagram looks like a window. I think within 5 minutes, I will not be able to explain, but what one can learn if you learn the process. I'm sure Soil, you will be conducting, somebody will be conducting on Johari window. Basically, we keep on getting a lot of feedback about our blind area of personality by your parents, by your faculty, by your friends. Consciously, you should concentrate on that. And these are the areas are required to be developed. And once you develop on those blind areas, your public domain increases. That is what the concept. On a Johari window, there are 4 windows like public domain, public area, blind area, private area, and unknown. I mean, when we will conduct the class, you will understand. Secondly, to increase public area on a horizontal axis, that particular diagram, you have to disclose yourself. Now, so these two processes understand. Feedback, when you receive a feedback about your negative, develop. Secondly, when you are going to become a manager and when you don't like certain things happening in your organization or by your juniors, what you're trying to do, you give a feedback to your subordinates. In a one way, you are giving them awareness of their blind area. Probably you are sharing with them what you like, what you don't like, whether you like their behavior or not, or whether there's a requirement of improvement of attitude, behavior, time management. So that is basically feedback given. You know, you have to come on time. You have to work here, something like that. So you disclose. So disclosure and feedback, these are the two processes. But I'm sure you will learn during this particular process. The person, the student who has asked this question, just put the Johari window and see the explanation. I think you can also learn self-learning, right? Yeah.
Right. Sir, I think Anurag Maurya has asked a question. Although it's a little early in the management or his quest for management, but I feel it will be important for him to start this quest if you answer this question.
Yeah.
He has asked, to achieve success for any organization, what is the most important thing? Is it the company policy, procedure, or good management?
A good management will lead good policies. If the top people are not decided how they are going to manage not only just material resource but the human resource, probably when you deal with people, you have to have a good policies. How are you going to manage people? What are your policies on industrial relation, employer-employee relation, industrial relation? How are you going to keep them satisfied? That's why there are a couple of motivational models like Herzberg two-factor theory or Maslow. We will definitely discuss about that. Because if a person who's working for the organization is not happy, not satisfied, he or she will not put his or her 100% effort in that. And that there starts the problem. There are many conflicting situations. So you should know how to tackle with the conflict. So your question talks about company policy. What is the second part of it? Professional management.
Good management or
Good
procedures.
So both will go hand in hand. Good management will definitely involve good policy. Like, for example, what are the policies? If somebody is doing a good job over a period of time, so they get a good what you call recognition. Giving a recognition will motivate that particular person. At the same time, it's a good learning for others. Okay, if I work, I will also get a good recognition. One of my students, I will not tell you the name, but who is a managing director of a company in Ranjangaon, an Italian company. Yesterday, his company got an award, Best Employer Award. Means the relation between employer and employee must be good. And individually, he has been given recognition by his management sitting in Italy, a good incentive at a managing director level. And I know his story, the way he managed a strike about when he was doing PhD about 10 years back. His company was on strike for 4 months. A lot of pressure, political as well as by Gunda. There was one fellow who was hired by some union people to kill this student of mine. This is a story. So he had a discussion with this killer. I mean, normally I'm told that killers have some professional killers have some principles. They try to find out the whereabouts. So when he discussed what he's doing for the workers, that Mr. X killer, he said, now I will see who is giving you a threat, something like that. And we have done that as a good conflict management case study. And he got a good, recognition is a vision. And I know what he has done for developing industrial relations. So good policy. Because the workers are required to be told how the situation, and thereafter he achieved one situation that he will tell you, look, the company profits are so much. This is what we are doing. Our books are quite open. You decide how much salary you want. Not much negotiation. Maybe one or two meetings and we'll finalize. And what is the going rate around? And certainly a company where a person, I'm just giving example, 15 to 20,000 rupees price he is expecting, certainly he will not ask 1 lakh because they also know their limit. And 2 such agreements he has done like that. He has asked the union leader or a worker, you decide what you want. Then I will tell you whether I will be able to give or not. So no negotiation. Otherwise, in there's something called negotiation. The management, the union give a demand, charter of demand, then management give a charter of demand, and these 2 demands are discussed over a period of time, and then they settle amicably, if at all they can settle. This is what we have seen in our life. Right? So this is a good policy, good what you can say, management. I think this example is a really eye opener for you. Even a conflicting situation, how one can. And today, he was a director when he was doing my PhD under me about 10 years back. Now he's a managing director, 2,000 crore company. Okay. So, well, I think this is a apt example I gave.
Absolutely, sir. Right.
Just yesterday,
sir, I think
Delhi got a award. He informed me this morning. He said, I got an award, I got an incentive. Incentive, I will not tell you. And I have given assurance, I will not share this with anybody. Huge incentive. This is a recognition.
Indeed, sir. Right. And sir, usually it works to motivate anyway.
I couldn't get through it. What is it?
So always when you get recognition and incentives, it works as motivation.
Absolutely. These managers sitting and they're taking learning from us, I think they should know when it is always better to recognize for a good work. At the same time, now this is also important. If somebody is not doing good, again, it's a job of a manager to put him or her at a right task. That is what the feedback we give. That is what we do. Performance appraisals. We call performance appraisal system or measurement. Otherwise, we cannot allow them to carry the way they work. No, that is what is the job of a manager. He is a coordinator. Like for an orchestra, there is a director, and by that stick in hand, he gives direction to all those couple of 20, 25, 30 musicians sitting in front of him and playing different instruments. That is very important. But then he coordinates and get a tune, which is a melody. You remove that director and ask those musicians to play their instrument on their own, there will be a chaotic scene. And there's exactly this example is applicable to organizers. That is what is the job of a manager, to give a direction and get the work done and get the output. That is what we require managers. Yes.
Right.
Last
so,
question.
We have a few students like Neil, Ashtami, and a few more. They are asking you to explain the SMART goal once again, sir.
Good. SMART, S-M-A-R-T. S stands for specific. M stands for measurable. R stands for S-M-A. A stands for achievable. R stands for realistic. And T stands for time bound. How we are required to implement this? Today you are students. Now you can say, Ki, after 5 years, I would like to become a deputy manager or assistant manager. I think it is a realistic goal to start with. If you put a goal that I want to become a prime minister in next 5 years, in India, it is not possible. Just example, just take it as an example. But if somebody wants to go in politics and they want to serve a local politics, Gram Panchayat or corporation, and if he keeps a goal, in next 10 years I want to go corporate, that is achievable. But unless and until you are not from a political background. Forget about politics, but in a management, you can Keep your goals, okay, and time bound. So this SMART goals, I think you use it for developing your biodata, your resume. When you do your SWOT analysis, when you know your weaknesses, list down those weaknesses. And then, as I've given you example, those who are coming from Marathi medium like me, we have to write down, I have to develop my English language. English is a foreign language and it is required to be learned as a foreign language like French, German, like that. So you have a plan, next 6 months, I must develop this. And this is a goal. And then take a review after 6 months. Then you will realize, yes, you have come to expectation or you are lagging behind. Then you have to increase your effort. Keep on doing that. One day, maybe after 2 or 3 years, you will be comfortable in English. You will have a lot of good vocabulary. You know the meanings of different words. And for that, you have to struggle along. Just example, I'm giving. This is just English example. I have to learn Hindi in army because I got a feedback from my instructor, Dogra instructor. Your Hindi is not good, and I say Hindi se kam nahi chalega. You cannot survive with this Hindi in army because an army officer is required to be a teacher. He is required to teach his jawans. And yes, by heart I have to learn Hindi. Yeah. And time bound. Again, for any goal, you have to have a time bound. Now, you have a time bound goal of management, getting a management degree. But I have told you, just getting a degree should not be a goal. You should, okay, every month you try to ask this question, how much improvement you have done, how much management you have learned. You have to read a lot, apart from the syllabus given to you by the university. Like I'll give you a homework today. Try to understand what is VUCA, VUCA. Very important because you are in VUCA world, you are going to serve in companies in VUCA world. Probably next time we'll try to learn this, what is VUCA. And this is the latest VUCA 2.0 given by some Harvard professor, VUCA 2.0. Learn these two. What is this VUCA and VUCA 2.0? Again, you have to search from internet. Last question, Swell. There are questions. We can spend 5-10 minutes because the first session.
Right, sir.
It seems that students are interested.
Right, sir. I mean, I'm flooded with questions, so sometimes it happens that I lose the question. Yes, there is this one question which is quite relevant from Pramanu Baidya. He's asking what is important, effectiveness or efficiency, or efficiency over effectiveness?
Let's go back. Efficiency and effectiveness go hand in hand. Efficiency is doing the right things, ability to do things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things, setting right goals. What exactly it means? I'll give example. So normally give example of a pilot. Any pilot is efficient, right? Without he or she being efficient, he cannot become pilot. But when he lands at a particular airport, whether landing is effective or not depends on various factors, external factors. Even an efficient pilot, you cannot guarantee that the landing will be effective. I have also experienced even a Jumbo gave a good jerk, good bump. Otherwise, Jumbo landing is very smooth. At Frankfurt Airport, when I'd been to US to my son, my son is there. So efficiency, effectiveness, both. Firstly, you have to be efficient. When we talk about efficient, you have to develop your competence. And then once you develop your efficiency, then you have to be effective. Take my example. I don't know whether you take me as effective teacher or not. But I had to develop myself. I should know my subject quite well. And now it's almost 39 years I've been teaching and almost 46 years of my experience in various fields. If at this stage, if I'm not been able to talk and narrate or share my experience, then there's no use of taking these assignments of coming in front of a computer and give lectures. Right? So both are important, I suppose. Yeah.
So one of the learners has asked a very interesting question, and sir, I would love to listen to this as well. What are the common mistakes that a new manager makes, and how do you avoid them?
Common mistakes.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
First common mistake means if a manager, after getting a management degree and after getting a position, if he or she is not on learning mode, go to the 10,000 hours of practice to that extent. Okay. That is a mistake because you have to update your knowledge. Management is an interdisciplinary subject. What I mean by interdisciplinary subject, suppose if you develop, if you take up for a professional subject like marketing or HR, but at the same time you should know functions, finance also quite well, because after 10 years when you become a CEO, you will be more bothered about the financial aspect rather than how to manage people. So updating your knowledge. This is not only for manager, even for a teacher like us. We have to update ourselves. That's why we are having what that career advancement scheme and all that. Second, how he or she manages people. What is the perception of subordinates? A little feedback is also required to be given, because a manager feels, yeah, whatever he or she is doing is absolutely right, but you don't know. There are a couple of mistakes he is doing while tackling human resource. I remember in one of the companies where I served, normally in a performance appraisal, there is a self-appraisal. So every individual is required to write a self-appraisal before a boss writes about other appraisal form. So in one or two, I think 3 departments, a lot of people, a lot of employees of the department has given a negative feedback about boss by saying he is horrible, he doesn't know how to manage, this, that. So HR at that particular point of time decided to have a meeting with all the subordinates of a department and a boss. Some bosses were annoyed, no, this has never happened earlier and all that. HR said this is an experiment. Now management is also doing an experiment. That is also one thing. I call it as a reverse approach, because if 10, 15, 20 subordinates are not happy, not satisfied, and they are judging your performance, then probably it is better to know and sit together. And some people give a threat to, I will leave. Company say, okay, leave. They are like that. Some of them sat and they understood the feelings and the feedback of, and it is observed that over a period, maybe after 2, 3, 4 months, these managers have changed a lot. They're dealing with people. It's a good learning for you people. So I take it that as a manager, I have to take a silently some feedback about your subordinates, come from your subordinates. And this will come when you are having a good understanding. When you're having a trust, this is a very important word, trust, T-R-U-S-T. And developing a trust is over a period of time. You have to spend time. If you don't develop a trust, that is also a mistake. Then the relation become, if you remove T out of trust, relation become rusty. Don't allow to have rusty relations. Lot many points we can keep on talking. You have to have a good collaboration. You have to have a good interaction. You have to have a good networking. You have to take a look what is happening around. In industrial relation, we used to take a review what is happening in the neighboring company or in a Pune-based company on our industrial relations. And can we learn from good practices? Can we adopt good practices from other companies? This is also good learning. There is nothing wrong in adopting good practices. Right? This is how you develop. This is how you develop. Well, I think let's take a last question. 6:15 now.
I think we'll stop here, sir, because the time for the next lecture is up.
No, actually,
Dr. Asha Nagendra has also joined in, sir. So
Oh,
she's been
okay,
patiently
okay.
listening to you.
Oh, give my regards to Asha madam.
Sure, sir, I will.
Yeah, chalo. I don't want to encroach her time. So next, I think we are having a session on 26th of Feb. And
Sure,
I've
sir.
already told the session will be on Unit 2, Managing Organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful session.
Who is this?
This is
this
Professor
is-
Sneha Bengeri.
Okay. Good. 900 students. So now I'll quit.
Yes,
Sure,
sir.
sir.
Yes. And learners, please do the reading of the next session.